Hello, my name is Victoria, and I'm responding to the claim that abortions take away innocent lives and harms and endangers a mother's life. The secondary claims that were presented was that first, abortions causes the death of innocent lives. Secondly, medically, the baby is living since the development of the embryo and the fetus. Third, the process of abortion is dangerous and harmful to women. I believe that his claim is faulty because of the weak evidence he presented and the value claims that was stated. So first, his first claim was that abortion causes the death of many innocent lives. This is a value claim, and his evidence to support it is contradictory and biased. The claim is invalid because it's a value claim. He claims the advocate is calling the fetus an innocent life. There's a huge debate on whether this is considered a life or not. There's no actual definition of what is considered a life, and therefore it is invalid. Secondly, the piece of information that he uses is from the National Right of Life organization, which is a biased organization. It is biased because one of its missions is to pass various amendments to appropriate bills which prohibit or limit the use of federal funds to subsidize or promote abortions in the United States and overseas. So technically, it's working against abortion, and so it makes the evidence biased. But the evidence that he does give out from the source is contradictory. The argument that he gives is by saying that in 1990, the number of abortions reached a high of over 1.6 million, and now the abortions annually performed since then have dropped to levels not seen since the late 1970s. So in other words, recently the number of abortions have decreased and not increased, making this piece of evidence contradictory to what his main claim is. So his next claim is that medically the baby is living since the development of the embryo and the fetus. First, this is also a value claim, because he's saying that you should, he is assuming that everyone should believe that physical attributes is how one should determine if something is living or not, or is considered a life. The debate is not whether it's considered a life or not, it's considered if it is entitled to legal rights. Therefore, due to the claim being a value claim and the evidence, therefore due to the claim being a value claim, this claim is incorrect. Lastly, his third claim is that the process of having abortion is harmful and dangerous. My response to this is that pregnancies are also dangerous and harmful. He states that he does state that abortions are dangerous by giving out evidence that has no source. But I do agree that abortion has its dangers, but so do women who are pregnant. According to a CNN report in 2010, a human rights group said about 1.7 million women a year, 1/3 of pregnant women in the United States suffer from pregnancy-related complications, meaning that there is dangers for being pregnant. Another thing is that a woman's mortality rate during pregnancy has risen, therefore it's higher chance that a mother can die from being pregnant. Also in that report, in the CNN report in 2010, the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention analysis shows that deaths during pregnancies and childbirth have doubled for all U.S. women in the past 20 years. In 1987, there were 6.6 deaths for every 100,000 pregnancies. The numbers of deaths have climbed to 13.3 per 100,000 in 2006. Also, the advocate, he mentioned that in Women's Health magazine reported that abortion increases a woman's overall risk in breast cancer. But in February 2003, the National Cancer Institute convened a workshop of over 100 of the world's leading experts who study pregnancies and breast cancer risk. They concluded that having an abortion or a miscarriage does not increase a woman's subsequent risk of developing breast cancer. He also cites that abortion has psychological effects, but he just states the information. There's no source, so how can we really believe that this is actually a symptom? There are also other possibilities if it is true. Psychological symptoms could contribute to social pressures of having an abortion, or that family and friends are pressuring a woman into not or having the abortion. So the claim that abortions are harmful and dangerous is weakened because pregnancies can also be dangerous and harmful to women because of the higher mortality rate and the large number of women who are having complications. In conclusion, his claim that abortions take away an innocent life and harms and endangers a woman's life is faulty because the first two claims are invalid because they are value claims that are supported by weak or no evidence. The last claim is not correct because being pregnant can be dangerous and harmful also. The evidence he uses to support this claim is faulty due to no resources or other contributions that might account to the side effects. I hope I was able to convince you that his claim was faulty. Thank you.
All right, all the structural stuff was fine. Your general rejection on the first point is based on the value issue, and you kind of explain what that is, that the advocate has a lack of definition. It was a little bit confusing whether the argument was that the advocate had a lack of definition concerning what life was, or that there is no actual definition, so I'm not sure which way your answer is going on that. The claim that the Right to Life League is biased because they have a point of view misses the point of what we're talking about on bias. Bias is not that people have a point of view, but that that point of view is influenced by something other than their knowledge of the subject. You know, that they come to that conclusion. That's their inference, and that's why they're being quoted. I think that just seemed like a strange press to be making on that argument. I thought the other argument that you made on that point was a lot better, and that is that the information seems to be contradictory, because if we do have declining numbers of abortions going on, then the threat that the advocate is talking about is undermined on that point. On the issue of life, you've got the value label here. Although I think it does sound like he's got some factual criteria that are being presented, I think the real argument here is the question about what is controversial about this claim. It's not so much that it's an argument that it's a value claim, but that there's not much dispute on some of the characteristics of it, and I think that you could have developed that a little bit more. Signpost on the last point was okay. I thought you had a good idea talking about the counterclaims on the risks of pregnancy and discussing how those rates of deaths among pregnant women have gone up, or in childbirth have gone up in the number of years, in the recent number of years, and you do want to contrast that to the number of, or the amount of mortality that exists in abortion. But one of the things that is kind of troubling me is if we've had the doubling in the number of deaths over the years for women who are pregnant when abortion is available. Why is that the case? What has that got to do with the question of whether or not abortion was useful and has any particular benefit? And I think that's a little awkward because there's no application there. Then you had a couple of good evidence claims on the last couple of points. All right, thank you.